So about 12 hours have passed a night. You've had time to reflect on what has happened in the previous day during the street party from hell. Um, Tab, do you want to give us all a little bit of a rundown of what you've been doing over the last 12 hours?
Other than sneezing right now.
Yeah, because of the dust from the rubble, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been trying to make sure that all of my tenants are taken care of. Make sure
Or your
everyone had a
tenant's tendons?
yeah, make care of taking care of all of their parts. Making sure that they have like a safe place to sleep. Whether or not that's out in the courtyard with the chickens or maybe like in the garage or the basement seems fairly safe and undamaged. Like we just big old slumber party. None of the kids slept very well last night, so all of the adults are a little extra cranky uh, this morning, but just generally trying to make sure folks are bandaged up and checking out like our food rations, and maybe hopefully I don't even know who to call. I'm not going to call Reclaim, but I got to file
No,
an
that's
insurance claim, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, that's a great question. You're gonna have to call someone.
I
Now
don't
uh, the fire department doesn't really respond well to
Yeah.
calls out in the reclaim zones. So, but luckily, there, despite the chaos of yesterday, there still is a community spirit and um, uh, a dedicated group of volunteers was able to put out the blaze on top of your building without it spreading throughout the rest of the building. But you have lost one floor out of the six that you had. So that top floor is gone. Cicero's lost his apartment. Lisa has lost the apartment that she shared with her kids. And there's probably a few more families on that floor. Have there been any casualties in the building?
I think we are missing some folks, but I don't know. We haven't tracked everyone down, so we're not going to count anyone out just yet
Hmm.
because at least one of us is an optimist. Spoiler, it's me.
And at least one of you is missing, and that's Billy. Yeah. Cicero, you've lost your apartment, pal. What's going on?
Cicero, after he heroically fought off the Reclaim Guard and Godfrey, got it on video. He made sure that Sharissa's arm was bandaged, and then he took Godfrey upstairs to what was left of his apartment.
Well,
And
there's not much left of your apartment. There's that giant crater leading into the
yep,
floor below.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and so he has taped Godfrey to a piece of rubble, and he basically spent the entire night silently holding a gun in his lap and staring at Godfrey, getting him ready for the interrogation that's about to come.
Intense.
That's some gangster shit, Gary.
That is some gangster shit.
Cicero is not messing around right now.
Alley Cat, what have you been up to?
So I think after making sure that none of her immediate friends have uh, been killed in this explosion, though she's not happy about not knowing where Billy is. Alcat went to the park where she sent her kids with her dog,
Mhm.
the kids who live in the building, and probably talked to Tab beforehand about what to tell Sharissa's kids.
Yeah, so Shrissa has two kids. Tab, what are you guys gonna do with her kids? Well, she's and what happened to Sharissa? I mean, did you take her to a hospital? Did you?
I probably just bandaged her up here because we didn't know if she had like med tech
Yeah,
coverage.
probably not. No.
So she's hanging out. Probably had a sleepover. Sharice's kids probably had a sleepover with Lisa's kids. I don't know what we would have told them. Maybe that Sharissa is helping some friends and got hurt. I don't know. I'm bad at what will small children believe?
I mean, small children will really accept most things that you tell them. I mean, mom had an accident might be acceptable.
Yeah.
So if Sharissa was in pretty stable condition, I think probably she would have told them that your mom had an accident and we need you to come home now.
Yeah, Tab, why don't you roll me a medicine check to see if you were able to.
Oh Lord, don't let me fail this one too. All right. I've got a 16 first aid.
Slicks, what have you been up to?
So Slicks has been just doing checkup, just kind of like Tab, you know, making sure everybody's okay. The neighbor, this was a big party for him, so I think there's a big amount of shame that he feels like he really let everybody down in the neighborhood. But he's used this 12 hours to, you know, uh, check up on people. He hasn't gotten much sleep in the last 12 hours. He's had his own level of recuperation after being blown back and bringing down. Who is he carrying down the stairs?
Alley Cat.
Tab, right? Yeah.
Oh, it was Tab, yeah.
Yeah. Getting the stuff together, hearing the news about Godfrey and the traitor that is Godfrey. Just still processing the death of Dizzy.
Oh yeah, poor Diz. How's Tizzy?
Tizzy is just, I mean, I'd hate to joke in this moment, but Tizzy is just in a tizzy about Dizzy.
He has not spun in the last like 12 hours.
Oh my God, he's barely stood up.
Yeah, he's just sitting there.
He's been floored. He's been so floored. On the down low too, there are some little smaller mice in Slicks's network that he's been that's what he calls his workers, his mice. And he's been going like, look, you got to get in touch. We got to get in touch with Haggith. We got to because he warned. So Slicks is also waiting for an opportune moment where he can tell the group face to face rather than over text or over agents. Look, this is the news that he was told by Haggith. There is a reason why these people are after. I think all of us specifically now. We got to find out that reason. We got to, I guess, take the fight to them. Or something. So just a lot of legwork he's doing, and a lot of community outreach, but also a lot of like dark network secret finding. As much as you can about Laura Pratt. Who's this Laura Pratt? Thinks she is.
So Slicks, where are you now? Are you back at your place? Or are you with these guys?
I'd say now I'm back at my place. I'm back in my office, which is, you know, our places aren't far apart, right? Tabs and Slicks's are on the same block. And I got to be at my place because I got to get all the glass remodeled. The glass was blown out in my place from the explosion because the explosion was on the top floor, and Slicks's place is on the top floor. So just the like sound wave just popped off the glass. So he's there. He's on his agent. He's got his people around. Yeah, go check on the children. Okay, and bring all the apple juice boxes that we stored. Okay, good. And tell me how Miss Chanuda is doing. Okay, good. Go check on her. Oh my God, he's flipping through pages. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is not what I needed. He keeps trying to ring Haggith.
Yeah, Haggith actually picks up.
Oh, finally. Hey,
Hey, Slicks,
Hey, I've been
what's?
trying to reach you.
Oh yeah, I heard about the party.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah. Well, I'd rather not think about it right now. Look, there's a reason why that whole party went down the way it did. You were right. You were
Well, I'm
right,
always
Aggie.
right. You just called me Haggy?
Yeah.
Huh? No one's ever
Sorry,
called me
just
that before.
uh, I used to call you that back in the day all the time.
Oh yeah, well I had that accent and I don't remember much. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. But yeah, I like it to be honest.
Uh, okay, this is great, Haggy, but we're suffering a huge explosion, a lot of casualties here. So I mean, I will
Oh, I
happily
heard
be-
about Dizzy.
Yeah, yes. Ah, man, it's terrible here.
Dizzy must just be beside himself.
Tizzy's, let me say, Tizzy's been grounded,
Oh,
and I don't know how long it's going to be until he starts spinning again. It's a terrible scene, but look, hey, you know, and he finds Slicks as people are changing the glass. He goes to the other side of the room and he pulls one of the thick curtains that he has, thick, really expensive curtains that he has around. Hey, man, look, you were right. Someone for that goddamn company's Reclaim. They did this.
yeah,
Reclaim set these 2 bombs, man. There were 2 of them.
yeah. I think it was that Laura Pratt.
What? Who is this woman?
So I found a little bit of details on her. She's a regional VP in charge of reclamation areas in the combat zones.
Right.
So she's like mid-high level. You know what I mean?
And she's just trying to blow us out of here so her corporation can come in and clean up and put
Well,
up some new neighborhood.
it doesn't make any sense because they already have the exclusive contract, right, to knock everything down. But that said, there are some landowners that are still holdouts, right? Like she doesn't own Reclaim doesn't own every part of the combat zone. Like you got your building, Tab's got her building. You know, in fact, there was even this party store last year that was a holdout, and there was like a whole community living in there. There's like 30 or 40 families living in there. It's above an old party store.
Party store.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that, but maybe my crew might know. Look, I'm gonna go crazy here.
Hmm?
I'm calling a hit out on Laura Pratt.
A hit. Oh, geez, that's not going to be cheap, my friend.
Yeah. Well, what she did was it was disgusting. Well, that's a disgusting show of humanity. No corpo like that is gonna go get away with this. Not as long as I'm here.
Listen, Slicks, we go way back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
buddy, come on.
I don't know if we're going to get a lot of traction on a hit. You guys might have to do this on your own.
Well then, yeah. You know what, Haggy? Like the old days. Let's do this on our own. Come on.
Yeah, buddy.
No more messing around, pal. You with me?
Yeah. Do you think Johnny Silverhand and Carrie Eurodyne, like they put out a hit on Arasaka? No, man. They
Oh
put
man,
their
they
own
did it
hit.
themselves, man. They
did
traveled up to that penthouse and they blew up that tower, man.
Johnny Silverhand with his gun, that big gun, man. Bam,
Oh
bam.
man, I love that gun. God, I wish I could.
I'd love to help, man, but I got the gout.
Still?
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of eels.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, are you eating them or are you using them?
Both.
Oh man, yeah, that'll get you. Double eels will get you. Okay, look.
Yeah.
I need you to compile all the private information you can get me about Laura Pratt. Any addresses, anywhere where she consistently visits, anything.
You know what? That's going to be my contribution. I promise you, buddy. I will get you. Oh, hold on. Oh man, I just put pressure on my foot.
Oh, you know
It's
what?
like, sure. Yeah.
I'll put that out there. You get back to me as soon as you can. All right. I don't want you to flare up that gout, pal.
Oh, but eels are so delicious,
Oh, man, that's disgusting.
Oh, so I promise you, Matt, I will get you a location for Laura Pratt.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk to you soon, Haggy.
Haggy out.
Yeah. Oh,
Hasta la
Slicksy.
Haggy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't me by Haggy. Okay, great. You know what? This could go on forever, Haggy. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye. And Slick steps out from behind the curtain, and all these workers are looking at him as he steps out behind the curtain across the room. They're like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Hey, I keep working. Get to work. I got shit to do." And then he goes downstairs, and then Slick's intention is to, like, there's like this beginning of the episode montage where he's kind of going downstairs and he's looking at his agent and he's making sure the neighborhood's all right. And he's going downstairs so he can get in his cool car and check on his friends and go update his friends and just do the big Ocean's 11. Yo, this is where we're at right now.
All right. So Slick's car pulls right up in front of the building there. As he pulls up, what are you doing? So Cicero's still up guarding Godfrey, Tab, and Alley Cat. Alley Cat, you obviously been checking up on the kids and everything. A lot of the neighborhood are really indebted to you. You saved. There was no casualty amongst the kids, and a lot of them credit the parents credit you for that. But there's still been some loss in the neighborhood. You know that at least 6 people died in the actual explosion from the debris falling down onto the street. But weirdly enough, there's rumors that people are missing. Just not been heard from.
Tab has probably been going through Billy's. Hovel would not be necessarily the word I would use. It might actually be. Billy wasn't very organized, so Tab's trying to go through and inventory what Billy may have taken with her. If Billy left voluntarily, if she decided to skedaddle, or if someone put pressure on her to leave with them, but just trying to take stock of what was left behind. If there's anything that one of us is going to have to like break our way into to get some info, maybe on what she was doing or anything.
Well, it looks like somebody has ransacked the place. It's though that with Billy, it's hard to tell because her house was never really,
Organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So drawers are upended. For sure, her laptop is gone. And but she's left things like her agent she left behind. She left behind her a few of her video games. She didn't take all of her clothes, like her clothes, a lot of her clothes are still there. And but her chickens are gone.
Did they just fly the coop? Like,
No, the cages are gone too.
oh, that feels oddly specific. I don't know how I feel about that, because either someone has a heart and let Billy take her chickens with them, they stole the chickens because dinner, or Billy left on her own devices and took her chicken-shaped friends with her.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that I'm fond of any of those solutions.
No. And chickens are valuable. I mean, aside from the meat, egg-laying chickens in Night City, those are
Oh, absolutely.
the golden eggs.
Are we able to get Billy's agent back online?
It is damaged. If you want to,
Yeah, I could probably do some work on it, maybe in bits and pieces, and see what we can find out.
okay. Do you want to make a basic Tech roll.
Absolutely. That's a 14. I don't break it further.
No, you don't break it further. And it looks like you might be able to do a reboot.
Okay.
Or if you want to safely see if you can recover, you're either gonna have to find another net runner, or to do it on your own, you're gonna have to set it up in a way that's going to take you a few days to try to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I'd ask Alley Cat and Slicks if they know of a local trustworthy net runner. Maybe they can put out some feelers. But in the meantime, I'll probably just plod along on my own until one way or another.
Okay.
If we can find someone or don't.
Alley Cat. Slicks pulls up. What are you doing?
I think I am texting on my phone, on my agent.
Who are you texting?
Nova.
Remind us who Nova is.
Nova is one of my Fixer contacts through my Fixer role. She is a media. I sell her a lot of Cicero videos
right.
and photos.
Yep.
And I also sell her tips and sometimes trade her or buy tips from her.
Gotcha.
Or information.
Okay. So what do you text her?
I asked her. I would have asked her the night before if she or her company that she works for had coverage of the explosion.
And she texts back with in caps, "N-O. Do you have anything?"
Did Mike take any recordings?
Sorry, I got excited.
Yes, Mike did take some recordings.
So I would have negotiated sale or probably sent her like a low quality one as a sort of hook, we'll say.
I'm in, Alley Cat. What do you want?
I want you to cover it and do a story.
Well, I mean, I'd be willing to do that anyway. What's the catch? What's the angle, as they say in the game?
The angle is that I don't think this is the first time this has happened to a multifamily residence in this part of Night City.
Do you have any proof of that?
I don't have proof, but
So
when we were outside of Night City recently. My friends and I, we're do that sort of thing, and we heard some rumors about people going missing.
yeah, I've been hearing that too. It's happening all over the reclamation zones.
And I think that this explosion might be related because some of the people in our building and in our neighborhood remain unaccounted for.
Tell you what, Alley Cat. You can get me solid proof that Reclaim has something to do with this. I'll pay you 25 grand.
I see. Oh, but Nova, who said Reclaim Inc. had anything to do with it?
Who else? They own the contract. Who else would have? Okay, tell you what. If it's Reclaim, I'll give you 25 grand. If it's anyone else, we'll talk about a renegotiated price.
I like the sound of that.
But I've got to have hard proof, baby. Like, no, this is not a theory thing. That last year, that piece that you gave me on Arasaka, I almost got sued. and fired for that.
Look, it's the media's job to fact check.
Yeah, yeah, okay. We have a deal?
Yes, send the contract to my agent.
And by the way, I'll throw in $1,000, 1,000 eddies right now if you have any videos of Cicero fighting in that alley.
Do I have any of those? Oh, yes, absolutely.
She transfers you 1,000 eddies.
Perfect. I will let you know as soon as I have any further information for you.
And with that, Slix's car pulls up right in front of the building.
And it's an old car, so he has to roll down the window. He has to reach across and roll down the window. Hey, Alley Cat, how you doing?
Doing my job, Slicks. How about you?
Absolutely the same way. You're a good fixer, you know that?
Do my best.
Look, I got some info that I think we all need to hear.
All right. Well, Cicero refuses to come down from the crater's hole that is where his apartment used to be. And I think Tab is in the courtyard, possibly. I don't know what Tab's doing. Let's go find out.
All right, well, let's go find out. Hop in, and we would zoom off to go find Tab, and I guess it's kind of like that. We're getting the band back together, and finally Cicero is the last guy. He's like Fat Thor that they have to go and find.
I like to think of it that it's like Garrus, and you have to find Garrus in that.
Oh,
Mass
okay, yeah,
Effect.
fair enough. Yeah, okay.
And he comes down, his armor is all busted up, and
And he's
half
like,
his face
"Oh,
is gone.
hello.
Well, hello, Shepard. Good to see you.
Oh, I'm a master assassin now.
If we had a sexual relations in Mass Effect 1, I flirt with you now.
Oh, too bad that's not a thing.
That went strangely off course.
Oh yeah,
But-
it was strange.
But I
that it went off
understood that
course.
reference.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll say this too. While Slicks is driving, I mean, it's not really far. I don't think that Slicks and Alley Cat have to go. They're in the hood, but he's telling her about the information that he's privy to, and some other people that he knows in his fixer network that give him information, and kind of this deep dark network of secrets that he can tap into. So he's got some eyes and ears on someone named Laura Pratt at Reclaim, and he says Reclaim, and upon that, there's just this name that's floating in the air, Reclaim, between these two. So they both they know about it. I mean, and Alley Cat, how long has Alley Cat known about like Reclaim? And I mean, as a business, obviously, but you wouldn't know Alley Cat about this woman Laura Pratt, about this kind of other stuff that.
Oh, it would have been around the time that. This is a complicated answer. So as relates to the current issues, she would have been. I believe we first heard about Laura Pratt around the time that we went to go to the Bozos hideout.
Okay, interesting.
I believe so, but if someone else, such as Amy, can recall, I think that's it.
That does match up. There, I don't know. We heard about Laura in my notes when we first went to visit Slicks. She gives money to the Bozos. She buys the kibble they steal. Billy was working on getting an address for her in the executive zone.
And I was also kidnapped by the Bozos, who were obviously working for Laura Pratt. And the building that I was in, that you guys came into, That was also owned by Reclaim Inc.
To be demolished.
Right.
It would have been the party store that your contact mentioned. And so Alley Cat has made this like connection in her brain.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And like, dude.
Yeah,
up
and then
here.
Slicks and Alley Cat do this very this fixer thieves can't kind of thing that only they
yes.
know what they're doing. Yeah.
Um,
And then they go "Arr!" and the car and the car pulls up to the front of the building and they see Tab. Or maybe they don't. But we pull up and
Might
our
just be
intention is to
wandering
go
around.
find Tab.
Yeah. Yeah, Tab's probably been going through Billy's stuff, so probably when I hear the tires squeal, I'll throw a bunch of stuff into my backup messenger bag because my good messenger bag is somewhere in some rubble. But I'll keep some everyday supplies on me just in case we get into some kind of trouble. Hey, have either of you checked in on Cicero lately?
Hey, no, he to tell you the truth, he wasn't my first priority. Not in any sort of mean way, but you know,
Yeah.
I feel like the man, he's a strong, very self-efficient man.
I mean, Cicero wasn't dead, so.
Hmm.
I looked at him this morning. He didn't really move. He still had his gun in his lap, and he was still staring down Godfrey.
Oh, an artist. That's a true artist, man. He's in the zone right now. Look, I think there's something going on in Slicks informs, and then he fills in Tab on all this thing. So him and Alley Cat have this moment of like updating Tab on these ties that they've made to Reclaim and their past adventures, and this woman Laura Pratt. And Six is like, look, I propose we get rid of Laura Pratt. I mean, this is going old school, but look at you guys. Man, look, you're taking on the bozos, taking on corpos. This is a big move. But what they did to us was bigger. Look at your building, Tab. Look at this. I mean, maybe we can get some permits now and put in an elevator. But
There's a convenient hole.
it's a
Yeah,
convenient
that's true.
hole.
That's sweet insurance money. I don't know if I had bomb coverage though, so
Well,
we'll see about that.
This is what I'm saying. You know, Alley Cat and I could probably pull some strings with the people that we know, but it's not going to happen with this woman, Laura Pratt, breathing down our necks.
I might have a solution for the repair bill.
Ooh.
My media contact will purchase some evidence that Reclaim Inc. is involved for 25,000.
Not to break up that amazing news. But I just got a text from Lisa. She went over to Claudia and Cheryl's. Do you remember the Godfrey's dead friends lived in their building? I went to check on them, and she said they're gone. Their apartment's been ransacked, and they're not there. Lisa wants to know if she should worry. I've told her no, but Lisa also said that she's gonna get her kids and Sharissa and her kids. They're gonna stay in Lisa's apartment, barricaded with some ammo and some hardware. But do you think we should go check on Claudia and Cheryl, or?
I think maybe we better talk to Godfrey first about what's done.
Yeah.
And then after that, we check on the kids. And then after that, we get our shit together and find this Laura Pratt.
Laura Pratt.
Laura Pratt.
So we're like, yeah. And Slicks puts his hand in the middle, but the other two ladies are kind of like, That's like kind of campy. And Slicks is like, yeah. Okay, cool.
High fives, fist bumps. Yeah.
Fist bump. Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. All right.
So as Tab and Alley Cat and Slicks decide to go back and talk to Cicero, the camera cuts to Cicero, who's sitting there in front of Godfrey with the gun in his lap. Cicero.
Cicero's going to look at Godfrey, and he's going to speak for the first time in hours. And he's going to say, Godfrey, I'm going to introduce you to someone you've never met. And he starts talking to Godfrey, and as he's doing that, he reaches into his pack, and he's going to pull out a crowbar, a switchblade, and a blowtorch.
What the hell? Okay.
And he's going to say, this isn't a person you've ever met. You know, Cicero isn't me. It's a character. It's someone that I needed him to be. Because, see, when I grew up, my parents worked for a corporation, much like Reclaim. And they saw what the corporations were doing to families like those who live in Letitia Heights. They didn't like it. They thought it wasn't right. Quietly, they began speaking to people and trying to change the way things were done, but they didn't have much luck. It took a while, but eventually their corporation figured out that they were the ones who were behind the leaks and all of the photos of the damage that was being wrought on people who lived in Night City by the corporation that they worked for. It was a Tuesday, about 4 o'clock, when they got a knock on the door. My mother answered, I remember, because I was under the couch. When I was young, I was much like Tab. I was very industrious and good with my hands, and I'd built a little fort for myself under our couch. My little sister was playing. And my mother turned to get the door, and that's when the first shot came through. They shot her another 2 times, and then they burst the door down. My little sister followed. My father wasn't much with weapons. He fell as well. They looked for me, but they couldn't find me. I was well hidden. And as I watched my family die, I realized that corporations weren't something that could be saved. They needed to be burned to the ground. I fled Night City, and what happened after that is more or less irrelevant. But what I need you to understand is you're going to tell me what I need to know. It might be quiet, it might be loud, depending on how honest you are. But you know that I can tell when you're lying. And he glances to the equipment that he's left on the ground and then say, the choice is yours. But I need you to understand something, and hear me when I say this. Godfrey, I'm not going to kill you. This is going to take a while, depending on how honest you are. So tell me, how honest do you want to be?
Godfrey looks scared shitless. Whoa, what do you want to know?
How long have you been working for Reclaim, and why?
Just a couple of weeks, man.
There was a second question there, Godfrey, and he reaches for the switchblade.
The Laura Prout woman, man, she told me that Jim was actually alive, and she knew where he was, and that all I needed to do was give some information about you and distract you guys while they blew up the building at the barbecue.
You didn't see anything fundamentally wrong with that plan?
And man, I grew up with Jim. He was my best friend. They said that no one would be hurt, that they would just blow up the building while everyone was down out at the party, and that no one would be hurt. And then you guys went into the building and everything went to shit, man.
What if one of the kids had to use the washroom?
But that wasn't supposed to happen.
Kids need to use the washroom all the time.
They promised me no one would get hurt.
And he reaches out to the blowtorch and he said, "I'm not going to promise the same thing." And then he's going to look him dead in the eye and he's going to say, "Where's Billy?"
I don't know. Where is she?
He's going to ask him again, "Where's Billy?"
I don't know, man. What are you talking about?
Billy's missing.
What do you mean missing?
She's not in the building. I'm going to ask you 2 more times. Where's Billy?
I don't know where Billy is, man.
Godfrey, where is my little sister?
I don't know where Billy is.
He's going to stand up. And he's going to walk over to Godfrey. And he's going to say, "You were our friend. You betrayed us. Jim's dead."
Jim's not dead. She knows where Jim is.
You lost everything. This is what they do. They trade on your hope like it's something they can buy and sell. Like it's a product that they can manufacture. They're adept at it, so I don't fully blame you. Your friend is dead. And he's never coming back. And now all the friends that you had, they're going to leave you too. You're going to be alone. And I don't feel bad. Because you made the choices that led to this moment. You didn't come to us and ask us for our help. Because we would have helped you. Slicks would have helped you.
They said they killed Jim.
Yeah. That's what they do. Cicero's going to stand up and he's going to look over the rubble of his apartment. The others may have questions for you. But I'm done. There is one thing that I want you to know. Wherever you go, whatever you do, my gun has a bullet for you. And it's not going to be today, and it's not going to be tomorrow. But I give you my 100% solemn vow that it will find you one day. Maybe you'll be happy. Finding a job makes ends meet. I'm going to take all of that away from you. No matter where you go, wherever you end up, I'll find you. And I'm going to take it away from you.
And with that, the scene fades as the 3 of you, Slicks and Tab and Alley Cat, you come up to what remains of the 6th floor, and you see Cicero come out of the apartment.
Slicks reaches out. Hey, Cicero, my friend, how are you? How's everything?
Everything's fine. Thank you for asking. It's been a trying night.
Yeah, you can say that again. Well, it's good to see you, friend. It's good to know that you're healthy and safe.
I'm sorry about Dizzy. I understand that he didn't make it.
No, he was one of the victims. But we were looking for you.
Yeah, I was speaking to Godfrey. Unfortunately, he doesn't know much. Apparently, someone named Laura Pratt came to him and said that his friend Jim was not in fact dead, but alive, and they knew how to find him. They'd been friends since childhood, so from a certain point of view, I understand Godfrey's actions. If you have more questions for him, I would encourage you to ask them.
Nah, I don't want to look at that man. That traitor. That rat. Fuck him. Sorry.
Alley Cat just walks straight towards probably the rubble remains of the doorway, pauses, and she looks at Tab, and she says, "You wanna come with me?"
Yeah. We've got some business to take care of.
So Alley Cat goes inside. Is Godfrey still taped up to some rubble?
Mm-hmm.
And he won't look at you.
So she kind of like motions to Tab to like, no, stay, kind of like stay over there. And then makes like a little handgun motion, like maybe with a gun. And then she kind of gets down, sort of like squats down in front of Godfrey until she's sort of at eye level with him, as much as she can achieve such a thing. I heard Cicero was mean to you today.
He won't look at you.
I'm not feeling talkative, are we?
I got nothing to say.
Seems like you've had a lot to say to plenty of people up till now.
No one was supposed to get hurt.
Oh, who told you that?
Laura Pratt.
How'd you meet her anyway?
She was in my apartment one day when I got home from work. She said she knew where Jim was.
The question for our storyteller, does Godfrey live in our building or does he live somewhere else?
Yeah, he lives in your building.
Oh, ew. She was in our house.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Tab's uncomfortable with that.
So Alicat asks, why did you believe her?
Why would she lie about Jim?
Why would Jim be alive?
I don't know. That's what I wanted to know. He was my best friend. Wouldn't you do anything for your best friend?
That's the thing, Godfrey. I don't have one. Makes things a lot easier to think clearly.
I feel sorry for you.
I wouldn't, because one of us is taped to some rubble and one of us is not.
Are you gonna blowtorch me like Cicero?
Oh no, I'm not a barbarian. I'm just talking to you. Was Laura the only one you ever spoke to?
Yeah.
How did you contact her? Or how did she contact you? Was she always waiting in your apartment to speak with you?
I don't know. I came into my apartment and she was sitting on my couch, and she had this bodyguard guy with like a sword for an arm, just standing in my kitchen.
Well, that's interesting. You didn't did you tell Cicero about that?
You didn't ask.
That's fair. So, what does Laura look like? Have you seen her around before?
No, never seen her before in my life.
Well, what does she look like? Just in case
Uh,
I need to find her again.
white woman, brown hair, kind of pretty, short, not as short as you.
Well, that'd be impressive if she was.
Um, somewhere between Tab and you in height. Uh, she had golden eyes.
Hmm. And did you see her get into a car when she left?
Yeah,
What kind of car?
it wasn't a car; it was an AV.
With her bodyguard?
Yep.
self-driving car, or was there a driver?
I have no idea.
How did we not notice this? I feel like one of us would have noticed a Navy outside the
It was
building.
when you guys were out of the city.
When? When we were out of the city?
Uh,
The day, the night, afternoon?
it was night because I just come home from work. Slicks had me do some work while he was out of the city, and you know,
That would explain why we didn't see it.
yeah.
Were Lisa and Sharissa and their kids home too?
I had no idea.
Hmm. Well, you know what I think of people who put Lisa and Sharissa's kids in danger. Godfrey.
They promised me nothing would happen to them.
Do you believe everything that anybody tells you?
Yeah.
Alley-Cat doesn't really know how to respond to this.
Points for honesty, Godfrey. If only you'd been so honest with us from the beginning.
They said they killed Jim.
But you know what? A lot more people were hurt and died here. You know, Lisa and the kids and Sharissa are all barricaded in their apartment right now because of how scared they are. Cheryl and Claudia are missing. Do you know anything about that?
No. And Cicero said Billy was missing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
her place
Maybe
has
they're
been
the same place
ransacked.
Jim is.
It's possible. Anything's possible. But if do you want the opportunity to redeem yourself?
Yeah.
Are you expecting Laura to get in touch with you again?
Yeah.
I think when she does, you should let us know.
All right.
Alley-Cat gets up very suddenly. She grabs Tab by the arm and kind of pulls her over in the corner of whatever kind of wreckage there is here. And she says, "You do realize that whenever this woman comes back, or whenever her representative comes back, they're coming back to kill him, to get rid of the evidence. At least they would if they were smart. That's what I would do. It's probably what Slicks would do."
Probably, but I'm surprised that he's still alive now, frankly, one way or another.
I think if you want to be merciful to Godfrey, the most merciful thing we can do is to tell him to get the hell out of Night City.
Where do we send him? The farm?
Where else? The diner? Not here.
Anywhere.
Somewhere Claim can't get him. And somewhere he can't do any more damage.
Maybe he could, I don't know, doesn't Slicks have someone that could keep an eye on him?
Do you think he deserves that?
Oh, I meant more in like a so he doesn't betray us again kind of way, not in like a take care of him kind of way. I don't know what he deserves.
Well, this may be a discussion for more of the people involved than just you and I.
I mean, do we leave him here?
And she kind of like looks over. How's that tape looking?
Pretty good. Cicero did a good job.
I think we could probably leave him here for a little bit. Maybe just stand outside the remains of the room and then discuss it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe maybe leaving alone with his thoughts will, I don't know. I don't know if there's any hope for him.
Unbeknownst to you guys, as you're having this moment in the corner, Slicks appears. He's been catching up with Cicero, and then he appears in this where once was a door frame, and he clocks the two ladies in the corner, and then he looks straight at Godfrey, and then starts walking across the room to him. And as he's walking across the room, he reaches into his jacket, and he pulls out his gun, and he puts it right against Godfrey's head. He's like, "You lying son of a bitch. I trusted you, Godfrey."
Slicks, man, I'm so sorry. She told me that Jim was alive.
Who told you?
Laura Pratt.
And then Slicks' gun kind of goes just back a bit. How the hell you know Laura Pratt?
She's the one that hired me to make sure that everyone's distracted so they can blow up the building.
Dizzy's dead because of you.
Dizzy's dead?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Slicks.
You're a dead man, Godfrey.
I know, Cicero says so.
Alley Cat turns around at this, and after listening to this conversation, she says, "Godfrey, would you talk to a friend of mine?"
Yeah.
And she kind of motions at Slicks and motions at Tab, and then points out at the hallway where she knows Cicero is, and she says to Godfrey, "Wait here 1 second,"
Okay.
and walks out.
Now Slicks leaves. He's the last one to leave. He turns around and he just shoots the ground right in between Godfrey's feet. And then he puts his gun back in and he walks out.
It's Slicks. Tell Tizzy I'm sorry.
I ain't told you nothing, you backstabbing traitor. He turns around and he walks out. They're out there, and Slicks pulls out his agent. He goes, "All right, my friends. Something's come through. I got 2 possible locations for this woman. Maybe we can narrow in on which one is the right one.
Here's
This
the,
treasonous bastard."
here's the thing. She's been giving everybody her full ass name. I think
Yeah.
she probably feels real safe.
Oh, she's a corpo. She's protected. She doesn't care.
But Nova said if we can get evidence that Reclaim is behind this, she'll do the story.
We need hard evidence, I'm guessing, too.
Yes. But we need a recorded statement, possibly the entire Godfrey, to be delivered to Nova. But I think we'll need to offer him a deal. And I think that deal is that he lives outside of Night City's walls.
I don't know about that. Alley Cat, that's one thing. And when you're as a fixer, you know you got to tie up those loose ends. Godfrey has made himself a loose end because of this.
He has. But he's also just a big dumb boy. He believed everything she told him. He didn't ask one single question.
Who is John? Do I know John? Do I know this John person?
Jim?
Jim?
So Jim is he's a friend of Godfrey's. Yeah, Jim did some work for you.
Okay.
Jim and Godfrey used to be partners. They
Okay,
would
great.
do odd jobs for you. They're low level thugs.
Right,
But Godfrey
okay.
and Jim grew up together.
Okay.
And Jim, the stories that Jim died a few months ago. Yeah.
That's what started all of this.
Ah, Jim is dead.
Mm.
It's ridiculous.
The thing is, it doesn't matter if Jim's dead. Jim might be alive. Jim might be wherever Billy and Cheryl and Claudia are. But that doesn't matter. What matters is we have to protect Tisha Heights from people who will give away our secrets for nothing without even
Goddamn
asking
right.
one single question.
God damn right. All right, well, we've got a couple of options. According to my source. This Lara has a home in the exec zone, but as you all know, that's heavily guarded, of course. Protection up there. Wahoo, that's going to be a hell of a show. But then apparently she also works at the Letitia Heights Reclaim office every Thursday. And you know what day it is today? Monday. So that means we have to wait a full 3 days. No, I actually don't know what day of the week. I've been so caught up in this explosion, I forgot what day of the Gregorian calendar we're on.
Yeah, so the party would have been on a Friday, so this is a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. So we can either take the fight straight through her front door, or we can use these next few days to prepare.
I'm ready to prepare. I do wonder if our good friend Pete knows anything. Doesn't he? Isn't his chop shop like a front for the bozos?
Oh, not the bozos.
No.
No, I think
Okay.
he's a freelancer.
Slimy
Okay.
Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slimy Pete's on the up and up, I say. I'll vouch for him.
Hmm. We did have to get a car back from him once or twice.
That's true. You know what? He's a good guy. You know what? Good call, Tab. Let me get in touch with him.
Cicero, what are you thinking about?
It's a wonderful question. I'm thinking about almost killing someone who used to be my friend. And I'm thinking about where Billy might be. And what someone who doesn't care about her as much as we do might be doing to her. And perhaps more darkly, what I'm going to do to them.
Do you have any thoughts on our current problem or future problems?
Current problem is irrelevant. Whether we attack her in the exec zone or we attack her at Reclaim, either will be fortified. I can potentially use my skills to get plans to make it easier to enter, but without Billy's abilities, we won't be able to easily bypass the electronic security. Tab can bypass the physical security without any trouble, we know that. But without being able to hack into their systems, it will be a challenge, no matter what we do. I can go through the library and search, or use my skills at red tape and try and get the plans, but at least that would give us somewhere to start.
There are lots of places for us to start. For example, what does Laura Pratt do for fun?
Whatever she does, it'll be in Beaverville, and it's almost similar to what we would have to do whether she's fortified in her compound or not. We'll need to infiltrate the executive zone. Either way.
That's true, but people tend to be a little less on guard. They're at a bar, going bowling. Do people still bowl? Who knows?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, bowling's very popular.
It's a
Mm.
lot easier to kill somebody who
Maybe I can use my understanding of the bureaucratic processes to see what she's spending her money on to give us an idea of where we might be able to find her.
Yeah. Not a bad idea at all. I mean, I just got word from Pete. He's not well, I didn't get word at all. He's not picking up. He's not responding. So we're on our own right now.
Pete's probably taking care of his shop. He did come through for us pretty well. Fed us and everyone pretty well last night. Was
Uh,
it just last night?
Yeah.
Seems like 2 weeks ago. Cicero is going to pull his agent out of his pocket. And he's going to say, Barry, where's the nearest Reclaim Inc. office?
Oh geez, oh yeah. Oh, the Reclaim office. Oh geez, boy. That's about 4 blocks away. I think you've been there before, by.
Oh, yes, that's right. The lovely woman, what was her name? Cheryl?
Oh yeah, Cheryl. She's in your contacts. I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just plugging into the GPS in Herman's van there.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh yeah, geez. For sure, I can. It's only a few blocks away. Eh?
Thank you, Barry.
Oh, you betcha, buddy.
Have a wonderful day.
Oh, knocked it right out of the park. Let her rip, eh?
Pitter
Yeah, that's a real
patter.
hard Canadian accent you got going on your agent there, eh, Cicero?
What does that mean?
Just an observation.
Oh,
I mean,
all right.
it's
That's
real unique sound.
It's it came with the new agent. I just
Oh, wow. Let me see that thing. Wow, that is new technology. I'll tell you that. How do you get that stuff, man? I guess that's being a celebrity, right?
I
Holy
ordered it
moly.
from the Amazon.
Oh, wow.
I'm
It-
taking the Emma point away from you on that one.
The it was delivered days ago while we were away in Night City, and I've been trying to use it, but obviously they don't have drones
Yeah.
because of
Oh,
the
yeah,
death
you-
of infrastructure and the internet and whatnot.
Yeah. Of course.
I tell you, Brick Breaker is quite fun.
I'm more of a snake man myself.
Hmm.
Old school like that. Look. We got a big hit ahead of us, my friends. Look at you guys. Slicks takes a step back to look at you three. Can you imagine when you first started hanging out with each other that you'd be now standing in the middle of a half blown out roof plotting the death of a corporate overlord who's trying to take over our neighborhood?
I don't think any of us particularly imagined the roof blowing off Tab's building.
Exactly.
I always picture my building intact when I think fondly about the future.
Well, look, this is a good place to start a new future. First thing we're going to do before we rebuild anything is throw a huge fucking elevator in the middle of this thing.
I thought you were going to say party, and
No.
yeah,
No
it
more
didn't
parties
work
for a
out so
while.
well the last time.
Yeah.
Look, parties are great. Gotta be a little more selective about the invite list.
I don't think Laura Pratt was on the invite list, though.
No, she
But
wasn't.
Godfrey was.
Oh, Godfrey.
was.
Oh, we thought he was one of us.
So, Emma, I think it's time to head to Reclaim and to use a combination of my fame and bureaucratic skills to see if we can find out a good spot where we might be able to ambush Laura Pratt.
So as we wrap up our penultimate episode, why don't you each of you just give me a brief summary of what you're doing to get ready to try to find Laura Pratt? And we'll start with Cicero.
Cicero's going to go visit Cheryl, the one who gave them the passes to get out of the combat zone. He is going to try and convince her to give him access to that information. Where does she spend her money, to track her so that when they get into the executive zone that they can find her and potentially get them passes to the executive zone so they don't have to force their way in.
Gotcha.
Using a combination of his fame and his mastery of red tape.
All right. Tab, what are you doing?
Tab's not probably actually sitting quietly with Godfrey and preparing for whatever's next. Trying to work on Billy's agent, trying to put together some small tech bits that might be useful. Making sure that she has all of her tools, trying to replace anything that she may have lost in the explosion, making arrangements for Merbert and the kids. I think Lisa and Charissa and the kids are going to stay with Merbert in Tab's apartment for the time being.
Yeah, and Lisa's very happy to do that. And she has a shopping cart that she wheels into your apartment. And there's like a machine gun. There's like 3 or 4 shotguns, a couple of submachine guns. And she looks and goes, my husband liked hunting. And then she just wheels it into your apartment. Alley Cat, what are you going to be doing?
I put in a request to Nova for any articles her publication has put out about the local Letitia Heights Reclaim Inc. With a particular interest in a recent local VP named Laura Pratt, to see if they have any photos of her.
Yeah, and Nova responds, let me see what I can dig up. I'll text you in the morning.
Oh, that might be a bit late, Nova.
Hey man, I've got interns. I can't legally make them work past 10 o'clock on a Saturday.
That's fair. Is it that late?
No, that's how late I can make them work. It's a labor law thing. Headaches. I'll do my best though, okay?
Sure, I might have something interesting for you later.
And Slicks, what are you going to be doing?
Flicks returns to his penthouse just as the last panel of glass is put up. There's a cleaning crew putting it, and he is just sitting down at his computer and making all the connections he can. He's constantly in touch with Haggith. He's keeping close contact with him. He's also putting his feelers out and doing as much like streetwise connections that he can to find out like the blueprints of the buildings around the Reclaim Letitia Heights office, where are the best, talking to the different gang members and the drug runners on each corners to let them know, like, keep an eye out for this thing. He's making sure that he could find the best lines of sight on the different types of roofs and the best like escape plans, and try, like, he's just doing a big Ocean's 11. I think this is the second time I've used Ocean's 11 as an example, but you know what I mean, right? That, like, he's doing that. And then there's a soft moment too where he knocks on door 1701, and this old lady, and her face is all cracked and old tan from the sun. She's this old abuela. She's Dizzy's grandmother. who used to take care of Dizzy, and he sits down and he has some tea, and you just see it's like an art house movie. The camera isn't up close, it's actually far away by the front door, and you see Slicks like explaining what happened, and then you see Dizzy's abuela just put her face in her hands and start crying, and Slick starts to rub her back.
And as
And
the camera pans out from the window of her kitchen,
yeah,
it skims down the street, and it's very quiet in the neighborhood, and there's still smoke coming from the 6th floor, and there's still people cleaning up the mess of the party, and it goes past your apartment, and the silence of the neighborhood is broken by Tizzy putting a record on, and Everybody Hurts by REM plays, and then the episode fades to black.
I hate you guys so much.